Ladies and gentlemen, if I could have your attention here in the media center.
Sing on.
He is fast. He's here joining us here in the media center. None other than Martin Truex Jr., the winner of today's 34th annual Axalta We Paint Winners 400 here at Pocono Raceway. And not only does Martin get the monkey off of his back, getting back into victory lane, but you've, for all intents and purposes, punched your ticket into the 2015 Chase for the NASCAR Sprint Cup.
Yes.
Take us through that final lap. Take us through all three turns on that final lap and what was going through your mind?
Just thinking about the white flag. I mean, honestly, from 20 to go, whenever that last restart was, we got a good lead, and it was like, all right, focus, hit your marks, don't overdrive it, and it was all about the white flag from there and no cautions. So it worked out. It was good.
Outstanding. We're going to open the floor to questions. We're going to start up here with Jim. And then we'll go here to Jeff, and then we'll work on our way through.
We got to wait for Cole Pern. There he is.
Come on down, Cole.
Yep. He's going to answer all the questions today.
Yeah. Joined by the winning crew chief for the number 78 Furniture Row Chevrolet, Cole Pern. Cole, congratulations on the win. Talk about the excitement that you felt when you saw Martin cross that finish line.
Yeah, I was honestly I was pretty calm most of the way until we came off turn 3 and they started cheering. I started to get a little choked up at that point, but I was doing pretty good. I was proud of myself to that point. But no, it was just pretty awesome, and just so proud of him. He did an unbelievable job today. All those restarts, he just was 10 out of 10 perfect, and that really made the difference.
Good. We'll start up here up front with Jim and work our way back.
Jim Utter, Show Observer. This might sound kind of a weird question, but there's a lot of reasons to want to win. Get in the chase. You haven't won in a while. What do you feel is the most important reason for winning? You wanted to win this race today, or now that you look at winning this race?
Honestly, because this team deserves to win, and I knew that. I've known that all year long, obviously, and especially after the last couple of weeks. I felt. I've kind of, throughout my career, I've kind of got used to the disappointment, honestly, and I've learned to deal with those days where, it didn't go your way, even though you didn't do anything wrong. That can get a lot of people down, but I've learned kind of to deal with those. I wanted to win for this team because I knew how good they were, how much they deserved it, the job they've been doing, and I've just honestly been so proud of their outlook on the way this year has gone. It would be easy the last 3 weeks to get down and to hang your head and to make excuses and, honestly just be disappointed. But they weren't. They were excited. They knew we were going to get this win, and they knew we were going to get it soon. And they worked hard. They didn't lose focus of how they were, how we got to where we're at. And honestly, that's what pushed us over the edge and was able to make the difference today.
Okay, we'll go to Jeff.
Jeff Glove from USA Today. Martin, this is a very popular win in the garage, according to your peers, who say that they respect you and admire you. What does that mean to you, not just today, but overall, to have had so much support from the NASCAR community?
It means a lot. It really does, because there's going to come a time when, racing and where you finish in races doesn't matter. What's going to matter is, kind of the legacy you leave and how people look at, the person that you are. And so that means a ton to me to have that respect. And honestly, it's kind of humbling. It's really cool, especially after the last, the way the last year and a half or so has gone for me up until this year. I think that, people, kind of got a little bit of an insight into what I'm made of and, what kind of person I am, which is cool. Sucks I had to show it sometimes. But just definitely a humbling feeling to have the respect of those guys because there's a lot of great people in this garage area.
Go right here, and then back to Bob.
Kyle Magda, Wilkes-Barre Times leader. I have a two-part question. First one's from Martin. Being from New Jersey and winning at Dover back in 2007 for your first career win, what does this mean to you being nearby in New Jersey and the win today as well?
It's definitely neat, because I really enjoy coming up here. This is a great area. I used to, I think the first time I came to the racetrack, I was 4 or 5 years old, and my dad was, I don't even remember what year it was because I was so young, and my dad was running, they used to have the race champions here, modified race, and I remember going to that race. I remember going in the pits afterwards and walking around and seeing all the drivers in the cars, and honestly, I don't even remember. It's kind of a blur how the rest of the weekend went because I was so young and it was so long ago. So been coming up here a long time. Used to come up here snowboarding and skiing as a kid, and just, you know, really enjoy the area because I love to come up here now. We, you know, my buddy Newman and I go fishing. We got some friends in the area. My buddy Donnie owns a restaurant right up the street. We go there and hang out, and it's just it's a cool area for me. You know, a lot of friends and family come. It's 2.5 hour drive from where I grew up, and you know, it's just cool to you know, winning at Dover was special, and this is, you know, right along the same lines. It's, you know, it's, you could kind of consider this another home track for me because it is so close. So really cool feeling, and you know, glad we were able to get it today.
And for either of you, just talk about the relationship you both had this season, just competing for so many wins and now being here in Victory Lane today.
It's been awesome. I mean, I'll let him give his side too, but I mean, just you know, I feel like we've been working together forever. We've, you know, our personalities are similar. We look at things the same way, and you know, I love racing with him. I love his work ethic. Nobody wants it more than him, and he pushes me to be a better driver. He makes great decisions, gives me great race cars, and gives me confidence in what he's doing. And just thankful to have somebody like him on my side for sure. And I feel like it's, you know, this team is just something special. And, you know, this is the kind of thing I've been looking for my whole career. And hopefully we can keep it going.
Okay, we're going to go to Bob next, and then to Joseph, and then over here to Zach, and then right over here.
Bob Hockers, ESPN. Sherry said that after Richmond in 2013, she told you that have to have faith and that everything, you'll end up in a good place and everything will work out. I'm curious if you believed her, and then also I'm just curious, how in the world have you gotten through these last 18 months, or 21 months, really?
I kind of believed her. I tried my hardest to, didn't I? You know, I did believe in her, but you know, I knew it was going to take a lot of work. I knew it was going to be a tough road to get back. I felt, you know, at the time I felt lucky. You know, at the end of that season, I felt really fortunate that there was a great ride open with the 78. They were just coming off their best year ever, and you know, went into last year honestly feeling like, okay, you know, this is going to be good. This is, you know, it might take a little time to get things figured out, but it's going to be good, and we're going to pick up kind of where I left off. And it was the complete opposite. It was just miserable. Nothing went our way. Nothing, you know, we had no speed. We couldn't make the cars work. They felt terrible to me. They were so inconsistent. You never knew what you were going to get. And then, you know, obviously Sherry's situation happened, and it was like, all right, you know, this is when you show people what you're made of. She showed me what she was made of, and I was like, well, if she can do that, I can do this. This is easy. So honestly, just you know, learned a lot from her, and worked hard and never gave up. Believed in myself the whole time, and that's what it takes. You gotta surround yourself with good people, and just thankful for Barney Visser, for Joe Garone, and you know, making good decisions over the off season and giving Cole the reins, and then he took it from there. You know, honestly, it was definitely the hardest thing I've ever been through, but it's, you know, when you get through something like that, it makes you pretty damn proud, and you know, of what you've accomplished. And this is, you know, easily the biggest win of my career.
Joseph Walken, frontstretch.com. This is going to be your third time in the chase as long as nothing happens. What does it mean for you to...
Should be the fourth, right? As long as they don't kick me out before now and then, I'll be in it.
What do you think your chances are of winning the championship this year?
Right now, is as good as anyone's out there. You know, I mean, we've been, you know, look what we've done in the last 4 weeks. You know, we went head to head with the big guys. You know, the guys that, you know, the 48 and the 4, who have been the guys to beat for, you know, a year and a half. You know, the 48's been the guy to beat for 7-8 years. So, you know, we've been right there with them. You know, toe to toe. I think we can. You know, I think we're still growing. We're still getting better. I'm just excited to be a part of it, to see what we can do. I know we're going to work hard or harder than anybody out there. And, you know, it's pretty cool to see what a single car team from Denver is doing. And it's awesome to be part of that.
Okay, we're going to go to Bill next, and then over here to Zach, this fine young lady here, and up here to Chris.
This is for Cole. Bill Fleischman, the Philly Daily News. Martin said before Dover that your team has figured out how to do this, being based in Denver. It seems pretty daunting to most people, right? Could you just talk about, how you do it? I mean, all of the logistics and traveling all over the country.
It was something they set up really well in the beginning. We have a truck that runs back and forth to North Carolina every week that brings our engines and transmissions and gears and chassis when they need to. So it that side of it just kind of happens and you don't even know what happens. I'm probably the worst guy to ask about the details of all that side of things, but it's awesome. The biggest reason I work there is because it's in Denver, Colorado. I mean, being Canadian, I love it out there. I love the outdoors. Love to be able to ski and play hockey and do all those things outside of life. And it makes it for a fun group. We got a really good tight knit young group of guys, and it makes it a lot of fun being out there. We've made all similar commitments in our lives to live out there, and we all hang out with each other on days off. We do things together, and it just makes it a ton of fun when you can succeed with a group like that.
Zach Straniolo with the Pocono record. It's a two-part question. First one's kind of similar to that one. Being the single car team out of Colorado, you guys still have the RCR Alliance there. How key is that to the way you're performing right now, and honestly outperforming them?
I think it's a nice situation to be in. I think you see it similar to Stewart-Haas with Hendrick. At worst case, we always have what they have. It's a good situation. We can just take and tune on it. I think that's what we've done well this year, is kind of just maximizing the relationship from that standpoint, is to at least take them as a baseline, and let's fine tune and make all the dot the I's and cross the T's from there to make it a better product. And I think that's really where a lot of the performance has come.
And then the second part of that, Martin, it sounded like this was a tough week in general for you coming into today. So obviously you've had the car to beat the last 3 weeks, been leading the most laps, but to do it today after everything else this week, how much better does that make? How much sweeter does that make today?
Well, I think the racing guys were hanging out with my grandma today, and we lost her earlier in the week, obviously, and she was just a great person, one of the coolest ladies I've ever met. Obviously, the only reason I'm here is because of her, and she's kind of instilled the work ethic in our family of my dad and his brothers to do what they did, and so she definitely was on our side today, and obviously the luck was on her side, so you can't say it wasn't her, but definitely a little tough this week, but she's in a better place now, and we're definitely gonna miss her.
Can we go here next? Then up front to Chris.
Oh, good afternoon. Marjay Tashina from Fox News Radio. Good afternoon, and congratulations, Cole and Martin. Now, today's win shows that one-car teams can do it. We've seen Kurt Busch do it. We've seen A.J. Allmendinger, and now you've done it. Do you think that people will now realize that perhaps one-car teams are really more formidable because they can focus on one car? And by the way, do you think that maybe people will start thinking that maybe NASCAR will start to expand, that you don't have to do it in North Carolina to be a winner?
Well, I think that it's been proven that you don't have to. Still there's still mountains to climb and things to conquer. We haven't won a championship. This is one race. We've got a lot of work to do yet, but I think a lot of people look at kind of how this team has done it, how we're doing it now, and it's definitely a positive. From the standpoint of we have a lot less people. All the people that work on our car solely focus on the 78, making it faster, winning races, and what can we do to be better. So, I think there's always going to be those powerhouse teams in the sport. You're going to always have Hendrick. You're always going to have Penske and, RCR, the big four-car teams. But I think there's room for a lot more competitive single-car teams, to kind of evolve and come to the forefront and be able to compete, be on the same level as a Hendrick or a Gibbs or somebody like that.
Thank you very much.
Okay, we're going to go next to Chris, then over to Scott, then back to Zach.
Chris Knight, CatchFans.com. Martin, you guys crushed a 5-win win streak for Hendrick Motorsports at Pocono Raceway. What did it mean to be able for you guys to do that here at Pocono? And obviously, you told me on Friday that you have 3 cars lined up, new cars for the next races. How hard will it be to put this car in the bank and take a new car to Michigan next week?
Won't be hard at all.
I think it's the worst one we got.
Newer one's going to be better, right?
I think.
Yeah. Always, we always bring our best piece to the racetrack, and that's what, was so cool about the past 3 weeks was just, the amount of effort that got put into making sure we had our best car at the racetrack. I documented last week going to Dover that, the guys had the car went from Charlotte to Denver after the 600, and they started on it at 2 a.m. Monday night and worked till midnight Tuesday night, which was when they had to go get in the trailer and go to Dover. So, that type of commitment, that's just what this team is made of. That's what this team's all about. And again, hats off to them. They're making it happen. I'm just proud to be able to sit in the seat and wheel the thing.
Okay, Scott, and then we'll wrap it up here with Zach.
Scott Walsh from the Scranton Times. Martin, can you just talk a little bit? There was one point, I guess, middle of the race during a caution. Some of the guys, like half the guys stayed out. You went in and you got mired back in 16th for the restart, but you made your way pretty quick through there. Can you just kind of talk about that and just that, obviously, an example of how stout your car was today?
Yeah, I was, honestly, that was, I was pretty nervous at that point. I was like, oh, man, this doesn't look good. 16th at Pocono's, it's a pretty tough place to restart, Clean air is so big. And, we were able to have a good restart, get the right lane. And once we got up to 5th within just a few laps, I was like, all right, now we're definitely in the catbird seat. We had fresher tires, we had more gas, and we had gotten our track position back just by being able to motor by guys and to pass them, that was kind of a really cool deal. I was, I went from like, man, this was the turning point of the race for us. I felt like I'm like, all right, we got to make it happen here, and if we don't, we're going to be in trouble. And just things, luckily they worked out. Had a good restart and was able to get by a bunch of cars and put ourselves in good position there. And then, like Cole said, it opened our options up to be able to do more strategy-wise. We had fresher tires, we had more gas, and it was like that kind of put us in position to get our track position back because of that restart.
Zach?
Zach Tanzavetti, Redmond's Racing. Can you kind of recap the restarts? It seemed like that's where you had so much power. Everyone was, 4 and 5 wide behind, but that was all happening in your rearview mirror as you took off.
Yeah, it was a pretty sight. I was always hoping they were too wide behind me. That's all I could, that's the best I could hope for. Luckily, I was able to get good restarts. We had, we definitely had the right gear ratios today for that, and was able to, fortunately do what I needed to do there. So, had a good shove from the 22 once, which helped, and honestly, once we were able to put some cars between us and the 4 car, that's when I really, just kind of settled in and got real comfortable because I knew he was the guy we were racing for the win, and that little bit of a gap helped a bunch.
For either of you, there's been so much talk about the rules package this season. What did either of you notice today with the performance of it here at Pocono? Do you think NASCAR should maybe change something, or were you pleased with the product today?
I don't want to change anything. Just I'll be straight up with that.
There you have it.
It's a lot of work when they change rules. I mean, it costs us a lot of money, and makes it pretty difficult for us, especially for us as a single car team. And it definitely it's just I don't want them to change it. Put it that way.
Thank you,
gentlemen. Congratulations again.
Appreciate it.
And we'll see you next week in Michigan.
You got it. Can't wait.
Take care.
See you.
Thanks.